I wasn't prepared for what I was about to experience. I was 42 years old, less than a month away from turning 43, and I was about to do something many people had done by the time they were a teenager. I had done very little research to prepare me for that day, but as I look back on it, I'm not really sure how much research would have helped. Welcome to Stuff I Learned Yesterday. I'm Daryl Darnell, and this is episode 682, Getting to Your Happy Place. 50% of new businesses fail within the first 5 years, and I believe that if you aren't learning, you aren't living. Living in Middle America, in the land many consider flyover country, it's not all bad. If you like beaches or mountains, I suppose it's not great. The nearest beach is Galveston, Texas, 8 hours away, and we're about 9 hours from Pikes Peak, if you like the mountains. But if theme parks are your jam, and you want something more than a small local park, Six Flags Over Texas is the place to go. As a kid and a young adult, I made several trips to the park, and always had a great time. Well, that is except for my last visit in my mid-20s with my wife. It was a miserable experience for both of us, and I just figured I'd finally aged out of enjoying theme parks. However, after visiting Anaheim, California 3 or 4 times on business, seeing Disneyland across the street, and never buying a ticket, I decided that whenever I visited Anaheim next, I would give it a go and see what all the hoopla was about. And that's exactly what I did. That day was January 29th, 2018. I know this because of a memento I took home from the park that day. That day was incredible. From the moment I walked into the park, I was captivated. The landscaping, immaculate and beautifully thought out. The streets and sidewalks, spotless. The rides, expertly themed. The music, perfectly placed and blended throughout the park. Everything, everywhere was so perfectly thought out and immersive. It was truly the happiest place on earth. That day, I experienced as much as possible, knowing that I also needed to spend part of my day at California Adventure. But this is a story about Disneyland and its treasures. From Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain, and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, to the Matterhorn, Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, Splash Mountain, and Jungle Cruise, it was all more fun, immersive, and captivating than anything I'd ever experienced at another theme park. It was such a different experience that it felt like a whole new category of theme park. As I stood in the captain's nook high atop the Mark Twain riverboat, piloting the boat around the bends, ringing the bell and sounding the whistle, I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. Core memory activated. And since that day, I've had the pleasure to make many return trips to Disneyland. I've taken one-on-one trips with my kids. I've taken our whole family. I've even taken one of my friends from New York. Every single experience has been incredible. Even the food is next level and absolutely delicious. But as I stood there in the park on that first visit, I assumed that what I saw around me was largely what people had been experiencing since the park opened. I imagined that what I was experiencing must be nearly identical to what those who were there on opening day must have experienced. I was very wrong. Opening day at Disneyland was a hot mess, literally. The park opened on July 17th, 1955, and it was so hot that asphalt which had been laid the previous day was still soft. So soft, women's heels were sinking into it. But can we just pause and marvel at a day when women wore dresses and heels to a theme park and men wore full suits? A little bit different today. But the asphalt wasn't the worst part of the experience. Due to a plumber's strike, Walt had to choose between working toilets and working water fountains. He chose toilets, but this meant guests were forced to buy drinks to help quench their thirst from the hot sun. And while the park could hold 18,000 guests, nearly twice as many people attended. Thousands were snuck in by using a ladder to climb over a fence, and thousands more were mistakenly allowed in because of unknown counterfeit tickets. And this led to incredible overcrowding, long lines, and worst of all, the park ran out of food. On top of that, several rides in Fantasyland broke down, people were tripping over all the cables from the television cameras, and the park was understaffed. The day was so bad, it became known as Black Sunday. But that's not all that made my experience different. Today, when you visit Disneyland, you have over 50 rides and attractions to enjoy. On opening day, that number was less than 20. Some lists I've seen say it was less than 15. And those lists exclude Casey Jr. Circus Train and Dumbo the Flying Elephant, which each opened later that summer in 1955. Many look at that opening day as a total failure, and rightfully so. That day fell well short of Walt's vision and standards. And yet today, it's considered the happiest place on earth. It's certainly my happy place. On that Black Sunday, in the midst of the chaos, failed plumbing, and broken rides, a reporter asked Walt when the park would be finished. Walt famously answered, "Disneyland will never be completed. It will continue to grow as long as there is imagination left in the world." Here's what I learned. The more I learn about the process of envisioning, planning, building, and opening Disneyland, the more I get inspired. That train wreck of a first day reminds me that our ultimate outcome isn't defined by a bad day, poor execution, or unpredictable circumstances. Now make no mistake, what Walt pulled off on that hot July day in 1955 was nothing short of a miracle. That there was so much to offer the crowds, that there was running water, electricity, roads, and other infrastructure to the park was a monumental achievement. And that's not even considering the extraordinary work done to create the park itself and all the attractions it offered. And yet, it wasn't even close to what the park experience is today. Over the years, the park has improved in infrastructure, ride experience, ride selection, food quality, character costumes, ambiance, landscaping, guest services, and nearly every way imaginable. It reminds me that when we give our best, we can accomplish incredible things, that the best we're capable of today won't compare to the best we're capable of tomorrow, but only when we commit to excellence, perseverance, imagination, creativity, and hard work. Think about it. Matterhorn bobsleds. It's a Small World. Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Splash Mountain, Indiana Jones Adventure, Star Wars Land, and so much more have been added to the park since it first opened in 1955. And to many of us, those are the rides that define Disneyland. And yet they were nowhere to be found on opening day. Like Disneyland, our lives and what we can accomplish with them, our skills and what they enable us to do and create, and our other interactions that make up our day-to-day connections are not complete as long as there is imagination left in us. As Walt addressed the crowd on opening day, he said, "Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world." And when we live our lives with the same ambition and dedication to improvement as Walt, we become a source of joy and inspiration to all the world too. You'll never know how much impact your dream can have on the world and those you love most if you give up. In 1967, a new attraction was added to Disneyland that was later moved to Magic Kingdom, where it still resides today. That attraction is called Carousel of Progress, and I think the lyrics to the song from that attraction are a fitting conclusion for today. Written by the Sherman Brothers, the lyrics are, "There's a great big beautiful tomorrow, shining at the end of every day. There's a great big beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow's just a dream away. Man has a dream, and that's the start. He follows his dream with mind and heart. And when it becomes a reality, it's a dream come true for you and me. So there's a great big beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day, There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow just a dream away. I'm Daryl Darnell, and this has been Stuff I Learned Yesterday. I want you to be a part of the next Monday Mailbag coming up on March 30th. Monday Mailbag is your opportunity to share what you've learned so that other listeners and I can learn from you. It can be a message as short as 30 seconds, or it can be several minutes long. It really doesn't matter, just as long as it's something that will benefit others. You can send in questions or responses to my SILY episodes, and I'll respond to them via Monday Mailbag episodes. You can participate in Monday Mailbags by visiting the Golden Spiral Media listener feedback page at goldenspiralmedia.com/feedback, or send me an email at feedback@goldenspiralmedia.com.